So we're live once again. My computer decided to be a dick and update because I updated last week and decided to update again. So anyway, we were talking about, hopefully you listened to the first episode. Anyway, I talked about the Hollywood Night comic, Byron Wyatt. We read the Jack Napier where he is watching the film serial and meets with Mr. Winters and his butler Frederick, who they decide to orchestrate the plan to get rid of Byron Wyatt. And hello, you're here. I'm here too. So anyway, to take the film rights from Byron Wyatt of his studio and stuff. So I was getting ready to talk about the name of the studio. Jack Napier's studio in Hollywood Night is called Arkham Pictures. Byron Wyatt has named his studio, so we're going to get to this part, and trying to turn off my TV. My TV's doing a live stream of a YouTube channel, and I really like the YouTube channel, but I really don't want to watch live stream. So anyway, get off my TV. There we go. Franco TV. I like Franco TV. Yeah, I like the Medina. I think it was Medina House video, which was really cool. So anyway, we're gonna get to Byron Wyatt and his studio. Weeks later, after the meeting that happened with Jack Napier and Mr. Winter, on the lot of Gotham Pictures. That's right. I love that name because if Batman was ever in the movie business, it would be Gotham Pictures. So anyway, Gotham Pictures, behind the Gold Gate with the guard watching and cars entering the studio and all that. I'm going to leave today's stunt driving to you, Rob. Even with your training, I'm still a little uncertain behind the wheel. You just got those case of jitters, Rob said. But it's your decision, Byron. A redhead woman yells, "Mr. Wyatt, there's a call for you. It sounds important," the woman said. I love the Batmobile in the background. The Batmobile in the background is really cool. It's sort of like the classic 40s Batmobile. I love that look of the Batmobile. Byron leaves the meeting and answers his call. "Miss Wethington." "How are you there, Backies?" The woman on the phone. "Please call me Dee. As you know, I represent the National Comics and Bob Kane's interest concerning the Batman license. Recently, an anonymous party with a lot of clout in Hollywood has been putting pressure on my clients to revoke your franchise," the woman said. "Frankly, the tone of these exchanges are somewhat hostile. However, my clients are very happy with our current arrangement, so regardless of what rumors you may hear to the contrary, we're sticking with you," she said. "I just wanted to warn you. Watch your back, Byron. Someone's out there is hell-bent to shut you down." I like that. Like, I love the classic because Hollywood always kind of, like, you know, you kind of see like a lot of studios trying to put big pressure on getting film rights and stuff. Disney. I love the Arkham Pictures studio gate. It kind of the gate looks like something that is very scummy and trashy. Definitely Jack Napier's type of thing. I don't care what you think, CG. You're not paid to think, Napier says, with a cigar in his mouth. You're paid to keep those false teeth in your head and smile with them when the camera is on you. Joker kind of sounds like... Anyway. The phone rings. Joker picks up. This had better be important. Regrettably, sir, I have been informed your legal efforts to obtain the Batman franchise has been rejected. Then it's time to do this my way. Inform Mr. Winter that the gloves can come off now. Napier hangs up the phone. Now, where were we? There has been a clause in my new contract that are unacceptable, Jack. Ha 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 ha. He laughs. Read the fine print before signing. Read the fine print before signing. The blasted thing, chump. But you tricked me. You're totally unfair, Jack. Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. I love that reference because that is Gone with the Wind reference. I love that. Jack laughs at his face. God, I've always wanted to say that. I love that. That is definitely something Joker would do. A few hours later, back on the studio. I'm glad you've decided to take the wheel. After all, Byron, Rob says. Well, it's bad enough that the crew believes me to be a pampered dalliant without me acting like one, Rob. Sorry. I like that Joker thing. It's just, I kind of want to see him do that in a film. They just don't know you like I do, boss. Besides, I've spent most of my afternoon fending off the corrupt city inspectors and the union reps. I need to blow off a little steam, Byron says. Good for you to know, BW. The cameras are rolling, so let's do it. Batman takes a drive. As he's preparing a sharp turn, the wheel pops off. Suddenly, the stunt car ignites with a sharp turn, hitting a crane. The person handling the lighting camera is in terror. Oh God, no, help. As he hangs on for dear life on a scaffolding. Somebody get a crane over here before it falls. There's no time. Rob hops out of the car. That scaffolding's going to collapse any second now. Dave has come back, Byron yells. Don't sweat it. This will be a cakewalk. He hops up to the building, gets to the rooftop. I'm not the best stuntman in Hollywood for nothing, Pally. It's giving away, the cameraman yells. Grab and hold on, now, Davis says to him. The sounds of rending metal nearly drowned out by the thunderous cheers of the awestruck crew as they watch Davis save the cameraman. I like how they sort of like use a bit of Burt Ward in it, because Burt Ward was kind of, I wouldn't say a bad actor, but he was really good at forced at doing stunts that he didn't want to do, according to him. Because, like, for example, like the car that comes out of the Batcave, and like every opening shot where they leave the cave to go to Gotham, Burt Ward fell out of the car. And believe it or not, Adam West was not the driver of the car in the opening shots. It was actually a stunt driver. But they needed Burt Ward in there just to kind of give the illusion that they're both in the car and it's zooming off out of the cave. So that's the thing I kind of liked about it. Yeah. Anyway, Byron looks at Rob. Rob, that was simply amazing. If only I knew I had the guts to do that. At least you had the full head of hair, pal. I've never been a leading man, thanks to my mother's side of the family. Rob removes his wig and mask. Pretending to be a good guy in front of the camera is not rewarding, as you'd imagine, Byron says. Byron is talking. Sorry. I'd rather be decorated war hero like you than a rich kid who kept out of service by his parents' considerable political influence. Moments later, carefully inspecting the wreckage. I've been working on the movie effects long enough to know that this tire was rigged to blow out Wyatt, Rob says to Byron. Sabotage. That would mean someone in our crew crew members walking away from it. By the way, here comes I think the Harley Quinn type character. I forget, it's been a while. Hiya, Buster. Yep, it's definitely Harley. May I use the phone, Irma? I need to call my sick mom. Sure, no long-distance calls, okay? The secretary departs as an unlisted number is dialed, and then it didn't work. Tell Mr. Winter he's going to have to try something else, the crew member says on the phone. Which we get to the first ads in the comic. I want to talk about this one. This one's always funny. One of the things that's always been annoying to a lot of these ads in this comic, and this is how protective I am of the comic. There's an ad where you have to cut the ad out and send it in through the mail to win something, and it takes part of the art and story of the page of the comic with it, which I did not like, which I never liked, by the way. It kind of annoys me. And I mean, I'll be honest, who wants to win a chance to skate with some skateboarder in Brazil, and you have to enter the contest to corn nuts, which corn nuts is like some snack thing? Who would want to win, to skate with somebody? And I love the title. It shows the little ad, which is next to Hey Kids Comics, and it shows like the next comics. Kevin Smith knocks a Green Arrow. Kevin Smith of Clerks, Chasing Amy, Dogma, Not to mention Daredevil writes the Green Arrow comic, which I've never gotten around to read. Superboy's Legion, never gotten around to read that one either. But then they get to the ad of the snack Corn Nuts. Feed the soul. Corn Nuts. I've never been to Brazil, so I like the ads in it. It's like it's a very corny ad. So anyway, let's get to the story. Kit Kat Club. An obvious Catwoman reference. That evening in Hollywood's most prestigious nightclub, Kit Kat Club. Byron and Rob are sitting at the table with two women. The woman, Byron, baby. You don't seem to be having a very good time. Don't take it personally, Iris. Pretty boy's having a hard time leaving his business worries at the office. Well, the band's playing my favorite song, Tommy. Playing my favorite Tommy Dorsey tune. I say, let's cut a rug, handsome. Rob and his date go to leave. Right with you, Ethel. On your feet, Wyatt. Alrighty then, shall we? Byron Wyatt. It's been ages, old boy. How are things? I'm managing, EF. For a guy who's been movies while wearing his underwear outside. His underwear on the outside. Tell me about it. I've give anything for a script that puts me in long pants. Say, old chum. As a matter of fact, yes, I know you too well, my friend. Odds are you don't give her back when you're through. Sorry, when you're through. It's obviously Joker. After the dance, three men are sitting at the table, up to no good. If you look at it, they look not up to no good. Excuse me, boys, are you sitting at our table? Take a hike, sister. What the fuck kind of insult is that? Besides, I'm already ordering us a round of pink ladies. Do I need to summon a manager to remove you? Enough. We'll leave soon enough, Mr. Wyatt. Mr. Employer is willing to offer you a sizable cash deal for Gotham Pictures. This town can be a very dangerous place for someone who doesn't respect the proper conduct. Respect to the proper conduct business. I advise you to accept the offer, because one way or another, you're going out of the movie making business, mister. I won't. Rob, get the hell out of here before I throw you out. You got a big mouth, Chrome Dome. I love the insults because they are like shit. They are shitty insults. Can you back it up? He says while taking a swing. Rob ducks. Hits him in the jaw. Let me know while you're picking your teeth off the dance floor. Don't just stand there, Wyatt. Put up your dukes. They lunge at Wyatt. I love the insults in this because the insults are very 1940s-ish. Oh, now we get to the big ad in the comics. Sims coaster. I remember when EA, back in the day, EA used to put, I think this is when the Sims game, this was in 2001, so Sims 2 didn't come out until, I think, 2004-ish, I think. And they were trying to like capitalize, because back in the day, Roller Coaster Tycoon was the shit. Roller Coaster Tycoon was everywhere. Like, I think they released Roller Coaster Tycoon 2, and that's when they partnered up with Six Flags for Roller Coaster Tycoon, and EA was trying to get like a chunk of the Roller Coaster Tycoon crowd, and they came out with Sims Coaster, and I don't think it did great. I remember when it came out, like I thought it looked really cool, but it just didn't really do that great. It really didn't capture my attention, because Roller Coaster Tycoon was like awesome. So for me, I really like that version. So anyway, thanks for the assist, EF. Rob says, don't mention it. I've always been highly respectful to the stunt community. Poor Byron Wyatt. You're pathetic, pal. My mother hits harder than you, Wyatt. Poor Wyatt. Once the club bouncers restore order. I don't know how these goons snuck in here. I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Wyatt. You bums. Remind your boss that this club doesn't cater to his kind. We did as they got outside the club. We did like what you told us, Mr. Winter. And his response was predictable. Then the next move will be equally predictable, Winter says as he holds his cigar. After the hoodlums, limos sped away. I love how they use these terms. I'm so embarrassed. You think I'd be better showing myself than that? Don't be so hard on yourself, Byron. It's easier being a hero in front of the camera. Your butt isn't on the line there. Even though you've taught me a lot of combat stunts for our films, I had never been in a real honest-to-goodness fist fight until tonight, Byron says. As a teenager, I was in I'm looking at the ad of the one game. I'm trying to remember. Portal Runner, starring Vicky Grimm for the 3DO. I'm trying to remember when that game came out, because I do not remember that. Coming soon to your favorite game console. What game console? As a teenager, I was in a consumptionist of the wealth and society I was born into. I used to fantasize that I was actually Bruce Wayne instead, Byron said. I would pretend that I was fighting my elitist lifestyle as a cover in which to fight the forces of evil as Batman, securing the rights to portray Batman on film has been as much as an escape for me as it is as for the theater goers. But now, Byron says. But now you're in a real life fight, pal, and your fantasies might get you killed. Rob says. Someone in Hollywood, Hetchery, has it extremely ticked at you, so you intend to keep Gotham Pictures in business? You better prepare for the worst, Rob said. I honestly don't remember this Portal Runner starring Vicky Grimm. I don't remember this video game. I'll look it up. I don't remember it. Like, as weird as that is, like, I was in video games, so I don't remember it. Let me look it up. And who the hell's Vicky Grimm? I'm gonna look that up first. Who's Vicky Grimm? Oh, she's a character. Alright, I totally forgot that one. I thought Vicky Grimm was like an actress or something. Like they gave fucking Pamela Anderson a video game. And that wasn't even a good video game. Portal Runner. Came out September 1st. Oh, it's part of the Army Men series. I remember. Came out on the PlayStation 2. Huh. Reception and controversy. I wonder what the controversy was. This game gained notoriety when panned by GamePro. Was given a rating of 2.3 out of 5. GamePro was the first to review this game by saying it looks like the late generation PlayStation title rather than a second generation PlayStation 2 effort. The then president of 3DO and publisher Portal Runner sent angry emails to John Russo, the president of GamePro. The email published on the internet in its entirety. The email, Hawkins told Russo that Russo's customers were the advertisers, not the readers, and implied that the reviewers should be written to keep the advertisers happy, wrote Hawkins. There is something wrong with the reviewer, not the Portal Runner. If you disagree with me, you do so at your own peril. I should mention passing that 3DO has been one of the largest advertisers and effective immediately are not going to we are going to have to cut that back. Okay. I don't remember this game. And I never even played Army Men 2, so I don't know what this game's about. So, do they even make Army Men games anymore? Like, do they even still exist? Oh shit, they did make one on the mobile phone. Huh. I remember Army. I remember playing it once with my cousin. Army Men video game, and I never really was into it. Like, my cousin was like a massive fan of it, and I think it was Army Men Sarge's Heroes. That's it. I remember the cover because it looked like something out of Toy Story. So anyway, it's been a while since anyway. A few days later, at dawn's first light. Hurry up and get that equipment loaded, people. We have locations to shoot, to do. We're wasting daylight, as a man yells at his crew to get the camera and stuff loaded and lights and all that. Blah, blah, blah. Mr. Wyatt. But are the rumors true? What rumors, Irma? Wyatt said. Word on the street is the big studios are trying to shut us down. I heard that distributors and theater owners are been pressured to not do business with Gotham Pictures. Don't fret about that. I won't permit their money or their muscle to intimidate us, Wyatt said. Every time they put pressure on one of our venues, I'm sweetening the pot with more money. That's one of the advantages of being filthy rich, Wyatt said. Besides, people love the Batman and want to see him up on the screens. And as long as I'm alive, they will, Byron said. You should know that the entire crew is loyal and will stand by you, sir, Irma said. You've been treating them well over the years and are not going to forget that. Then let them know the show will go on, come hell or high water, Byron said as he drives off. Across town and at Arkham Studios. I had enough of this guy, Jack said. Nothing we do seems to deter this upstart. He has to be stopped now today. My stool pigeon says, for a location shoot, a ghost town out of Death Valley. A site like that is extremely isolated. Perfect spot for a shoot of our own, Mr. Winter said. It must look like an accident, Winter. There can't be no witnesses, no survivors. After all, this is limit to the number of public officials I can even bribe, Napier said. Winters. It'd be a tragedy if a fire were to break out. Away there in the desert, not a drop of water can be found. It'd be a terrible tragedy, wouldn't it? Napier said. Winter lights up a cigarette as he looks at the flame of the match. Death Valley, later that day. I want to say this one. This one's kind of like interesting. I kind of noticed. It makes me think of like all the crazy Hollywood stuff that I even talked about in the first part of the episode. How studio executives use muscle and the mob to sort of, what is the word? Clean up stuff. It makes me think of the Black Dahlia case for some odd reason. In Death Valley later that day. Okay, listen up, people, Byron said in his bad suit. The scene has Batman track down Robin's kidnappers to the desert hideout. When the Batmobile comes tearing down Main Street, the gangsters catch me in dangerous crossfire. Mr. Wyatt, shouldn't Davis be here? No offense, but he's our stunt coordinator and our Robin, sir. The Robin character isn't in these location shots, Sam. Besides, Davis is busy handling some important studio businesses at this moment. I love how he says it. He's like running off in the running off to the Batmobile. It kind of makes me wish Ben Affleck was like directing Batman and playing Batman, because that would have been hilarious. Him in the bat suit showing like, okay, we need to do this direction here. The scene, it needs more justice, type of thing. But anyway, don't worry, he's rehearsed this gag with me dozens of times. I can handle it. Just as those cameras are rolling when I hit my mark. Davis yells as he zooms off in the Batmobile. But each member of the film crew reaches his assignment position. Each of them gets knocked out by gangsters, members of Winter's crew. Tied up in the one tied up in the saloon, one tied up in other buildings of the western town. Okay, quiet on the set. Assistant DA, I assume assistant director. Hold your positions. And Winter's crew comes out with gasoline cans, holding their guns. Action. Wyatt looks at the phone. Wyatt floors the gas pedal. It races towards the ghost town in a cloud of dust. But as he draws near the main street, he sees the town. Huge black smoke comes out of the town. Smoke. That's not in the script, Wyatt said as he looks at the town. Oh Lord, no. Wyatt yells as he races towards the town, seeing flames, huge amount of flames, light up the sky. Remember, no witnesses, one of the members of the gang says as they open fire using Tommy guns. By the way, Tommy guns are machine guns, for those who don't know. They use them a lot in the mob. As Tommy guns fire, one of the crew members yell as they get fired at, "Please don't shoot. Douse those bodies with that gas too," one of the members of Winter's crew yells. "We don't want to leave any evidence, even if they were gunned down." It looks like you've gotten everybody but Mr. Wyatt, fellas. I'm not even sorry, Stooley. One fires. Wyatt gets out of the Batmobile. Murderers. You'll never get away with this. I'll... Clocked right in the back of the head. Winters hits Wyatt in the back of the head. You'll do nothing, chump. Whatever you've been paid, I'll double it, Wyatt says. So you want to negotiate? Sorry, Pally. It's too late for that. This is one cliffhanger you're never going to survive, Batman. Winters shoots Wyatt in the back of the head. Should we torch the Bat guy, Mr. Winter? One of Winter's crew members asked. No, Mr. Napier said leave his body for the vultures to make a messy example of him. Let's rot. One yells. Wyatt lays on the ground through the night as the town slowly burns, becoming ash of its former buildings. I want to do this impression because when I read this impression as a kid, I couldn't help but laugh at the southern western voice that Alfred in this Elseworld story gives. What in tarnation? A man on a horse rides into town. He sees Wyatt in his bat suit. Checks his pulse, sees he's alive. As I get to the page, hold on. Gets him on the horse and they exit out of the town. Several days pass until Wyatt wakes up. Where am I? The man looks outside the cave. This part cracked me up when I was a kid. Because all I think of was like the southern accent that they give Alfred Pennyworth. Here it is. Al Penny's the name. Circus man. You're in my silver mine. You're a lucky stiff. Same thing happened to a buddy of mine back in WW1. Any bullet passed plumb through his thick noggin. Without hurting a thing inside. So, you got a name, Sonny? That fucking laughed. That made me laugh so much. Because reading that, and you see Alfred Pennyworth, of all people, you never imagine him saying anything like that. So, after a moment of uncomfortable silence, I'm trying to remember. I recall being called the Batman. And that's the next issue of A Devil in a City of Angels. I love the titles of it, by the way. So, anyway, that's the end of it. Then you get these, you get the ad with the sour Skittles. Do they even make those anymore? Sour Skittles? I'll admit, like, when I was a kid, I used to eat, like, sour Skittles, because I just, sour candy is always good. But, anyway, I guess, to make up for the crazy interruption of the first part, I guess we'll get to the second issue, so hold on. As I, put this back in the, bag and board, and we'll get to the next book, so hold on. And, we'll play the intro that we always play for the episodes of the podcast. So, here you go. Alright, we're back. There we go. Batman Hollywood Night, Book 2. And, looking at I had to say this one thing. Looking at the ads back in the day, it kind of makes me, like, laugh because it's very 2001-ish. 2001-ish. The name of the stuff that they used to sell, I don't even know if they still sell it. Barbecue corn nuts. Barbecue corn nuts. Or try the flaming hot nuts. Flaming hot barbecue nuts. I sometimes wonder what they were thinking with these names and stuff. So, anyway, A Devil in a City of Angels. That is like a cool name for a title. I will give them that. And they even use a quote. Anyone could take a man's life, but no one his death. To this To this 1,000-door lie opens. 2 days ago, Wyatt lays on the ground. Batman stands over him. I won't go, not like this. Not yet. It's a flashback, by the way, of Mr. Winters and all that. Excellent. This fire should cover our handiwork nicely. That's the last of them, Mr. Winter. A careless film crew on a location accidentally sets a fire to a ghost town, tragically killing everyone involved. That'll look great in tomorrow's papers. And if the authorities start asking too many questions, the Joker will simply grease the proper palms in the police department. Winter, you murderer. The ghost of Byron. I guess it's a ghost. I'm going to assume it's a ghost. With Byron Wyatt out of the way, Arkham Pictures should be able to acquire his assets with little difficulty. Did you hear him whining like a puppy before I emptied that slug into his skull? He may have played Batman in the movies, and he turned out to be a total wimp in real life. Murderer. No, I can't leave. I'm not ready. As the light shines over, I guess his spirit or ghost. They must pay for what they've done. I'll make them pay. It was a dream. Byron wakes up in the cave. I'll make them pay. Alfred, or Al Penny. Having that nightmare again, son. Here, have a cup of Al Penny's Campfire Joel. Make you right as rain. I love the fucking lines in this. Maybe that bad dream will jog a memory. Got a name yet? Yes, I remember. It's Wayne. Bruce Wayne. Also, I seem to recall a killer known as Winter, and someone called the Joker, Wyatt said as he looked in the mirror, with Al Penny standing behind him. We've got to get back to the city, start tracking them down. Al, what's with this we stuff? I ain't nobody's sidekick, Buster. Especially to some nut in a ballet tights who thinks he's a bat. I love this Al Penny character, by the way. I used my horse to haul that weirdo-looking jalopy back here. You could drive it to Los Angeles alone. Al Penny points at him. His wife stands there. Yeah, my southern accent will probably offend people, but it's worth it. By the way, I want to point out this one thing I absolutely love. Okay, this is it. This is the panel of Jack Napier going to a film premiere. And the film premiere he's going to is titled A Killing Joke. I love that. That evening at the gala premiere of Arkham Studios' latest release, A Killing Joke. I love that. I love that little touch of things. Look at the turnout, Commissioner. By tomorrow morning, your mug is going to be plastered everywhere. In every tabloid in town. The Commissioner. I appreciate... Sorry, I don't know why I'm doing this southern accent. I appreciate the VIP treatment, Mr. Napier. However, I started my duty bound to launch an investigation into Gotham Pictures' incident, the commissioner said. Accidents are occupational hazard, Commissioner. I tend to make it my personal mission to lobby for every stricter safety standards, Napier said. The commissioner looks. We have internally ruled out foul play, Mr. Napier. It's no secret that Gotham Pictures was cutting deeply into your box office receipts. However, since Wyatt was not found among the bodies, he could become our primary suspect, given the proper inactive. Wyatt's missing. Damn. I didn't know. Napier looked at him as he blows smoke from his cigar. Commissioner Price, one of my upcoming detective films requires an law enforcement consultant. The job is with a suitable fee attached. If only I had more civil-minded citizens like you in this town, Jack. This issue's good. I remember as a kid, I was like reading through every book. I was like so excited for it because it's a good fucking book. On the other side of Tinseltown, a far more ominous premiere takes place on the signs of Hollywoodland. A dark shadow stands over the sign. Wyatt in the bat suit with the moonlight behind him looking over the lighted city. The next morning, at the lot of Arkham Pictures, Wyatt wasn't found among the bodies. He's a material witness. Our little killing spree, Winter. Did that detail slip your muscle mind? Napier paces, puffing on a cigar. I emptied out a round in his skull. Point blank range, boss. I assure you, he's got to be deader than a prohibition. I've seen to it that the cops will look the other way. But the time being, but not if Wyatt turns up, spills his guts. There's an extra 100,000 in it. If you produce a body and pin the Desert Massacre on Wyatt in the process, that's not going to be easy, Winter says. As the night falls upon the city of angels, a devil descends upon its underworld. Holy crow, it's the Batman. What am I saying? There is no such thing. Hey, I think he's that actor we roughed up upon the Kit Kat Club. Editorial note. See Hollywood Night #1. I love this one part where it says, like, editorial notes. Read Hollywood Night #1. I love that. They put that in the book. I love that little part. Because I remember going, like, I read that book. I wish this book was made into a film. It's sad. It's sad that like nobody like it was like it's one of those books that sort of like fall like in the categories of like Elseworlds. Like you have Gotham by Gaslight. You have Crimson. Blood Rain. Blood Rain. And this book is sort of like on the bottom pole of Elseworlds stories. So anyway, Wyatt as Batman. No, you are the scum that killed him. Sorry, Batman. I've been sent to avenge his death. The Goon. You're some kind of nut job, if you ask me. Maxie, don't shoot. Maxie. Hold still, Knuckles. I got a bean on him. Maxie fires. Same here, dirtbag. Maxie fires, hitting Knuckles, point blank range in the chest. Wyatt, with his finger over Knuckles, fires the gun back at Maxie, hitting him. Where's Winter? Where do I find him? You need to check in the rubber room, pal. I won't ask again. I want Winter. You gotta be kidding. Squealing on Winter is automatic death sentence. I'll give you some friendly advice. Get out of town while you still can. I heard those words before. I can't seem to recall. Tell your boss that I'm coming for him. And all who follow him. Like a bat out of hell. I love that part, by the way. That was like my favorite part. Like shit. That was like epic. True to his words, the days that follow become a living hell for Hollywood's underworld, crashing through buildings, taking out goons and thugs. As the delusional Dark Knight wages a one-man war against Winter's mob, bringing their criminal activities all to a grinding halt. I love the part where he like crashes through the doors and everyone is like scared shitless. So, police chase after the Batmobile. Car 57 dispatch. We have located a masked vigilante and we are in pursuit. Suspects approaching the intersection of Hollywood and Vine, requiring additional backup. The car's chasing after him. Damn, Murphy, did you see him take that corner? Whether he's a basket case or not, he sure drives like one. I love how they like this additional like nicknames. The asthmatic Avenger struggles to keep the Batmobile preciously balanced on its side of its tires, long enough to narrowly avoid a head-on collision with an oncoming limousine. Look out. My, Junior, I can't believe that car is being driven by a giant bat. That's one time on the road. That's definitely not good for our careers. What the fuck? Sorry, I'm just like laughing. Roadblock. Damn. He's doing a 180. Police yells. Won't help him. We're bound to pin in but good O'Leary. Max, he's been having He's been having a loony, as they say. He's driving through those store windows. He drives through a store window. O'Leary, maybe. He really does have his bats and his belfry. By the weekend, the saga of the Hollywood Night is on the front pages of every tabloid and the topic of... And I love the Los Angeles Times thing. Los Angeles Times, comic book crazy, terrorizes Hollywood underworld. And I guess we'll sort of wrap up the episode. And we'll pick it up after... We're going to do the last part, and we'll do the... I guess third part. More than a few compelling conversations. Damn. His pointy ears. Why couldn't we have the decency to stay dead? My legal stooges. This better be good news. One of Joker's legal people. Unfortunately, Mr. Napier, the courts have declared Byron Wyatt dead or mentally incompetent. So we have little legal recourse. His friend and co-star of the Batman serials, Rob Davis, is the executor of his estate. In the event of Wyatt's demise, it stands now Davis has full power attorney over the day-to-day occupations of Gotham Pictures. The other legal person. Look, Mr. Napier, this Batman property is nothing but a flash in the pan. In 10 years, no one will even remember the character. And with this madman running around Hollywood in the Batman costume, property is likely becoming public relations nightmare. You'd be advised to let it go of this obsession and move on, sir. Joker Napier gets so mad he shoves that legal dude into the swimming pool. And you're all wet, counselor. Splash. No one beats Jack Napier. I get what I want. And I want the Batman. So, I guess we'll finish up the rest of this book tomorrow's episode. So, if that's alright with everybody, or do you want me to read a couple more pages and see where it goes? Because it kind of picks up really good, so... Anyway. I guess I'll read this one page. I really kind of want to read it and get it out of the way. That evening, at the modest apartment, Byron's secretary, Irma Epstein. Not much in the help wanted section. With the studio's operation suspended, I gotta find a way to pay some bills soon. Of course, having a former boss become a homicidal freak in a bat suit isn't going to look good on my resume. I can't believe that Byron could have murdered anyone. Batman comes up, covers her hand with his mouth. He didn't, but I know who did. Miss Epstein. If you agree not to speak, I will gladly release you. The terrified secretary nods to the affirmative. Please don't kill me. I've always been kind to you. Well, except that time at the Christmas party, but you had that coming, sir. It all requires information. I need documentation. Anything relating to Arkham's takeover, the attempt of Gotham Pictures. I've been to the lot, but the paperwork had been removed. Irma, you need to talk to Rob Davis. He was your Wyatt's best friend. He's at his place in Malibu Hills. Say nothing to anyone, understand? Whatever you say, Batman. Once the Cape Intruder departs shaking hands, frantically dialing a number, and next episode tomorrow. So anyway, I guess I'll give the final thoughts of the episode, and we'll come back and read part 2 and finish up number 2 and get on to number 3 of Hollywood Night. I really enjoyed the book. I remember reading it, and it was one of those books that kind of like slips through the minds of, I think, people back in the day. It was kind of like one of those books, like they were trying to capitalize on something, and I think that year Miller released Dark Knight Strikes Again, trying to like capture lightning in a bottle. And I don't remember if this Hollywood Night was like the last Batman Elseworld story. I don't really remember what the last Elseworld story was, but I remember reading this book, and I was kind of like I kind of really liked it, and the price of it was kind of price of it back then was like ridiculous. Here's the price of the book back in the day. In the US, the book was $2.50. $2.50 for a book back in the day, and it was like mind-boggling now, because nowadays it's like $3.99 and stuff. And I think, and the book came out, each issue came out like the first one came out in April, and the second one came out in May, and the third one came out in June. Imagine that the book came out on time. Nowadays they push it back a couple weeks, a month, a year. But anyway, that's when scheduling was good. So anyway, tomorrow we will come back. I kind of want to cover this one real quick. This was article stuff I was reading before it closed, and I had to like restart, update and restart. So Batman confirmed cast so far. Vin Diesel releases the poster and teaser trailer for Fast 9, or Fast Saga. Let's see. Batman confirmed cast. The Batman cast was confirmed as Warner Brothers officially announced the underway filming in London. The director Reeves, starring Robert Pattinson. The announcement doesn't mention plot details, but says Robert Pattinson stars alongside a star-studded assemble as Gotham's vigilante detective, Batman, and billionaire Bruce Wayne. Monday, Matt Reeves announced filming has begun with a look at the Batman logo. Look at the logo, showing off the filming of Scene 17. A look at Pattinson's. They released like a photo like what Pattinson looks like, but anyway, filming is underway. Warner Brothers Pictures The Batman. Let's see. They confirmed the casting of it. Matt Reeves is directing it with Pattinson, who stars in Tenet, The Lighthouse, Good Times. Pattinson stars alongside with Zoe Kravitz, Fantastic Beasts, The Crimes of Grindelwald, Mad Max Fury Road, as Selena Kyle. Paul Dano of Love and Mercy, 12 Years a Slave, There Will Be Blood as Edward Nashton, the Riddler. Jeffrey Wright of the Hunger Games films as James Gordon. John Turturro of Transformers films, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? And Secret Window as Carmine Cone. Peter Sarsgaard as Gotham DA Gil Colson. What? Oh, as what? Jaimin Lawson as mayor candidate Bella Real. Andy Serkins as Alfred. Colin Farrell as Oswald Cobblepot. I'll be kind of honest. I don't know what to think. I don't know what to think of the cast, to be quite honest with you. It's sort of like I'm kind of okay with it. I'm okay with it. I don't know what to think. But, you know. But anyway. New Transformers films are in the work. Oh, boy. Alright. Captain Marvel petition demands the removal of Brie Larson. I really don't care. I really don't care what they do with Captain Marvel, to be quite honest with you. Like, I'm at that point where I really don't care. So, let's see what other news is in there, then we'll wrap it up and go on with the day. Let's see. This one's kind of interesting. How DC screwed up James Tynion's final issue of Justice League Dark and how Batman made him leave. This is by Drew Terror. Article on Bleeding Cool. Justice League Dark 19 hits stores tomorrow, and it will be writer James Tynion's final issue before Ram 5 takes over. Okay, as the new writer. I don't even know who the fuck Ram 5 is. Or Ram V or whatever. I don't know. What's the name? It didn't have to be that way. In Tynion's letter, the writer revealed that he originally intended to stay on the series, but until DC changed plans by making Batman a monthly to continue its bi-weekly schedule. He wrote, "Tomorrow is my last issue of my last issue of Justice League Dark arrives on the stands. That fact breaks my heart. But I've been dancing around the truth for a while. And the truth is, issue 19 is my last issue. Back when I accepted the gig of Batman, as many of you remember from the press release, it was supposed to be switching to monthly title. My plan then was to keep writing Justice League Dark until the end of the story I set out to tell. I thought I'd be able to land 2 planes at once, but once the decision was made to keep Batman bi-weekly, suddenly I needed to get a whole story machined up, running in a bigger, bolder way. I knew I needed to step away from this book, or risk becoming less than it should be. Tynion goes on to praise Ram V or Ram 5, whatever, and Avalo Martinez Biro, I think is his name. I think the artist's name. He would say that he refused to take the gig in the first place without him as an artist, and teases as yet unannounced collaboration in the future. If you could tell, I'm going to miss working with Alvaro. It has been, I would never stepped off this book without knowing I would be working with him next. Finally, he lets know tomorrow Justice League Futures pages printed out out of order, and blah blah blah. I'm kind of sad that he. It sounds like a lot like what Tom King went through, but at the same time, Tom King sort of dropped the sales in the book, and that's why they had to get rid of him, I think. But the thing is like Tom King was like doing so many different projects. I think that's why they had to change writers and stuff. I'm sad that he's leaving Justice League Dark, because he really did a great job with Justice League Dark. I mean, he did a fantastic job with Detective Comics, and Detective Comics isn't a good place running like a machine, but it sucks that, writers aren't doing what they want to do. And I love the weekly books that Batman comes out, but I kind of see the point, like they sort of need to go back monthly a bit, because the writing is sort of like, I don't want to sound mean or harsh, but these books that come out bi-weekly are like half-assed storytelling. Like, you get the story, then you have to pick up the next issue, then you have to pick up the next issue after that, and it becomes kind of like a chore. Like, I need to get this issue at me, then I need to get the next issue, then I need to get the next issue, and you're getting like half the story and half the art. And you see some artists sort of release like unpublished art, and you're like, damn, that would have been such a great art piece in the book. Or the story idea that they have is like, that would be so fucking awesome. And you look at I'm going to use this one as an example. You look at White Knight. If that book came out weekly, people would lose interest in it. It would be a boring weekly book. And when a book comes out monthly, it's like it feels special. It's special in a way. And now with weekly books, like one Batman book doesn't feel that special. It comes out and you're like, oh, this book's so awesome, it's the best, it's the coolest, and oh, the new book's out, and like the DC Comics sort of has this belief that a lot of readers are ADHD, that you got to keep their attention. You got to keep their attention on this one thing. And it's like readers aren't. They want like a good story. That's all they want. It's like if you get a book that comes out monthly that has a good story, chances are people are going to stick to it. But now it's just you get to see writers who like James IV leaving one book that he really enjoys working on to do Batman. And I love his work on Batman, but I feel bad that he doesn't get to write the characters that he really enjoys anymore, like Dr. Fate, Zatanna, Deadman, all these things. I feel bad that they forced him really to leave the book that he was happy doing to do Batman. And I feel bad for the guy, like I like what he's doing with Batman. That's why I said, like, you should get Peter J. Tomasi to do Batman. He would have done something different, but I mean, he's killing it with Detective Comics now. Shit, he was killing it with Superman. Superman's boring. So, for me, I feel bad. I wish that they would be like, do a Justice League Dark on Black Label or something. I'm sure he would do it, but anyway, it kind of sucks that, Justice League Dark loses a good writer, and the guy with Ram 5 comes in. I guess that's his name. I don't know. So, anyway. Yeah, I'm going to wrap this up. Tomorrow we will finish up the Hollywood Nights story, and I will find another book. So, anyway, I will see you all tomorrow on this episode.